Thanks to everyone who have subscribed. If you have not, please do. And thanks for coming out here. I really appreciate you. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I hope you are well and you are keeping safe and looking after yourself as well as your loved ones. You remember Atiku Abubakar, presidential candidate in 2019, standing with PDP. Well, he has given it hard to Buhari and telling Nigerians that Nigerians needs to wake up and face reality. That Buhari's loan will kill Nigeria economy and the bounds that he has set up will leave Nigeria in bondage forever, says Atiku Abubakar. Well, let's get to the news and get all the details in full. The best way out of this economic quandrum is to reduce our expenditure, and a 0.6% reduction is no reduction. It is only window dressing, Atiku has stated. The former Nigerian Vice President Atiku Abubakar on Thursday criticized the decision by the Buhari's administration to slash the budget only by 0.6% when revenue have crumbled by over 50%. Can you imagine the rubbish? So they remove 0.6, not one, not up to, my dear, it's a joke. This country is a joke. When revenue has crumbled by 50% amidst the coronavirus pandemic. Atiku says relying on debts and bonds to fund government spending will kill Nigeria economy and leave the country in bondage. Nigeria cannot make up for the loss to expect revenue by taking out more loans. Buhari must stop taking more loans and issuing out more bonds. Debt will be debt. Debt will be debt of our economy, and the bounds will put our people in bondage. Atiku Abubakar said in an open panel today by the Today News Africa in Washington, D.C. The best way out of this economic conundrum is to reduce our expenditure. And it's 0.6. I don't think Buhari knows what he's doing at all. This is not the way out of this economic crisis. It is, in my opinion, that despite the crash of crude oil and inability of Nigeria to expand her revenue base and income through non-oil sector, the federal government of Nigeria has not only seen fit to slash our budget by merely 0.6% from 10 million 594 trillion to 10 million 523 trillion. Does this make any sense at all? This represents a reduction of only 71 billion. How can it be possible when there is no revenue coming in? Putting politics aside, this is gross insufficient and betrayal of the fact that we have lost our touch with the current reality in the global political economy. For the avoidance of debt, when this budget was presented to the National Assembly on Tuesday, or on Tuesday, October 2009, it was on the prediction that our nation would generate crude oil produce of 2.18 billion barrels a day at the expected price of $57 per barrel. Today, that is no longer the case. Both our production and the price of oil has been seriously affected by the coronavirus pandemic to the extent that we have unsolved vessels and our income has shrunk with more than 50%. Given that this is the case, how can anyone justify a reduction of expenditure by only 0.6%? We cannot be the only nation banking on borrowing. Saudi Arabia, a nation with much stronger production capacity than ours and with a larger global market share, as well as foreign reserves that is 12 times ours, has slashed her budget by almost 30% due to other revenue aside oil economy. Nigeria cannot make up for the loss by expenditure revenue by taking out loans and issuing out more bonds. Debt will be the debt of our economy and our nation. and the bounce will put bondage on our people. The best way out of this economic conundrum is to reduce our expenditure and to make sure that we know exactly what we are doing with money, not the usual way where some people put some in their pockets. My counsel to the federal government of Nigeria is this: put Nigeria first and cut your coat according to not according to your size, but according to your cloth. Regardless of the budget slash, every barrel has to go. The billions budget from the trillions and feeding of the president and vice president has to be reduced. The 27 billion budget and the renovation of the National Assembly has to go. The massive budget to run both the presidency and the legislation has to be downsized. The budget of purchasing luxury cars for the president and his vice and other political office holders must be justified and has to go if need be. Leave the salaries of civil servants alone, but reduce the salaries of political appointees. Sell 8 to 9 of your jets of the presidential air fleet. Any budget slash that is less than 25% will not be in the good and interest of Nigeria. All beyond is budget slash. Nigeria needs a budget realignment to reduce expenditure away from the running of massive budgetaries into the social development sector like education, infrastructure, and above all, health. We must invest in goods that lay the golden egg for Nigerians. These are the types of sacrifice that we need in times of crisis. We do not need empty gestures that will lead to empty treasuries. In times of adversity, no nation, not the least in Memo, produce, produces economy that will become crumble, should be living in luxury in a leadership level when the nation needs to readjust. My people, you have heard Atiku Abubakar, a presidential candidate in 2019 and the vice president to the person of Olusegun Obasanjo. This man has spoken with wisdom, in my opinion, if you ask me. He has spoken very well, things that will move Nigeria forward. Apparently, Buhari and his team has no better and no good place for Nigeria. They want the economy to crumble, especially Buhari. This man wants to put the country in serious debt before he leaves the presidency. Do you believe that he's still looking forward to taking loans? And guess what? The House of Representatives is approving all this rubbish. Nobody is telling him the truth. They are trying to cut down the salaries of civil servants when they have how many presidential fleets? Are you hearing me? How many presidential fleets? And their salary, nothing happens to it. When they are not looking after the country, there is nothing else bringing money into the country apart from the crude oil they are banking on. Now look at crude oil that they are banking on. See what is happening. Unprecedented. Nobody thought about this, that this was going to happen. Yet it's happening. So they need to cut their coats according to Atiku Abubakar, not according to their size, but according to their cloth. And they are still planning to buy new cars for the president and the vice president. Is that necessary? What happened to the one you were using last year? These are some of the places where the Nigerian money goes to. I'm telling you. These are some of the things that happen to our economy. This is some of the things that the government is doing. Nigerians, wake up. Buhari's administration and government do not love Nigerians. They only reduce the budget by 0.6%, not 10%. 0.6, and there is nothing bringing money into the economy, into the country. This has to stop. This has to stop. My people, we need to speak up. One of the ways you can speak up, leave a comment. This news go around the nations of the world. Why? The net has become a global village. Whatever you put on the internet, everybody all around the world goes there to see, and they can hear what Nigerians are saying. And probably the government can be advised. And guess what? Even in Buhari's administration, they send some people to come online to monitor medias. So they see what people are saying and they're able to feed them back. And I pray they listen to the advice. Nigerians are not happy with what they are doing. Spending the country money, putting the country in debt. And guess what they do? These bonds we're talking about is things like them saying, in case we're not able to pay the money, you can have Nigerian airports, for instance, for 10 years to produce back your money. You can have this, you can have that. And guess what? These countries that they are taking money from, that they are borrowing from, will not take it easy on Nigeria. Before you know it, we'll be enslaved in our own country. This is still slavery, even in 2020. That is what Buhari is doing to the economy. Nigerians, wake up. Anyway, don't forget to thumbs up for us, like and share. Subscribe if you have not. Click on the notification button so you can get all our latest news. Thank you very much for listening. God bless. Have a good day. Bye for now.